Do you live in the US and want fast, fresh and tasty meals without the hassle of shopping or all that hard work preparation? Well, don't you worry, as a lazy man, I've got you covered. Try America's #1 meal kit service, HelloFresh, and get yourself fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered direct to your door. So why not eat well, stay healthy, and avoid the cost of regular takeout by trying HelloFresh? Just click the link in the description below for a special limited time discount and free shipping as well. Enjoy. We're back 12 games into our Premier League season with Crystal Palace, and you'd think we're doing well because we've only lost 3 games. The problem? We've only won 1. It's draws galore again. We had this before at Ipswich, but we need to find a way, particularly in this first game, of getting ourselves the 3 points. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 78 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. We are back today for 2 big games in the Premier League as we face Nottingham Forest, who are 2 points and 2 places below us in the relegation zone, and Southampton, who are currently floating in mid-table. If we don't pick up wins in this one, we could be in big relegation trouble. So if you're looking forward to it, finding out if we can, then please do put a thumbs up on it. We are progressing on the pitch in terms of tactic. We're looking better. We're looking more creative, but we're not winning games. There's key defensive errors. There's a lack of goal-scoring threat in places, and we're getting some injuries too, which really isn't helping our cause. So we've got these 2 big ones either side of the November international break. But let's have a look at the ones we've played already, because 8 of our 12 Premier League games have been draws. You were last with me for the 3rd of those as we drew at home to Villa before deadline day. Since then, 5 draws, 1 win, 1 defeat. And look at the only game we've won this season, Chelsea away. It is amusing, isn't it? We drew 1-1 at Wolves with Esnalt getting a goal from a set piece. Great to see the work on that finally paying off. A 3-2 win at Chelsea, 2 for Chris Lewis, who I threw in instead of Vaknin. More frustration at Vaknin's form, but he did get himself 2 good goals, as did Gruznov, who scored a cracker too. However, that excitement didn't last long because at home to Liverpool, we fell to a 3-1 defeat. Castro scored 1, but we got rinsed by a one-man Georgian team. Then 4 draws in a row, and we've covered nearly every score as well. We either brilliant defensively and awful going forward, or brilliant going forward and useless at the back, and I can't find the perfect happy medium. We've made a couple of minor tweaks to try and sort it, because we were seeing patterns from where the goals were coming from and where our weaknesses were in the data hub. But we've not managed to get that winning formula. It was a 3-3 draw at Watford, Guy Vaknin back in with a hat-trick after getting a kick up the backside. A 0-0 draw at home to Spurs, brilliant defensively, great goalkeeping display. Jimmy Campbell picked up an injury. A 2-2 draw at home to Bournemouth, when Guy Vaknin put in the penalty to put us 2-1 up after Castro's early opener. I really thought we were going to win it, but literally Bournemouth scored from the kickoff, less than 10 seconds after it started. And then away at West Ham, a 1-1 draw. It was Amine Keita with his first for the club. He's had a tricky start, but he did well in that one. So hopefully a sign of things to come. The problem now, though, if you have a look through the rest of November and December, this calendar year, all the way up to Spurs on New Year's Day, we face 4 of the traditional big 6 in a row. In fact, 5 in a row if you go from Manchester City to Tottenham. We also face Arsenal before that away from home. Everton away is tricky at the minute. And we played all of those sides expected in the bottom half. We were held by Wolves. We were held by Norwich. Will we live to regret them? There's only one way to find out. Let's go and get through to the first of today's 2 games. Palace v Nottingham Forest. It is a big relegation 6-pointer. They're a side that came up. We had battles with them. They beat us at Ipswich in our last games there, the playoff semi-final. But the dynamics are starting to look good. The club is starting to become a bit more cohesive. We just need to find a winning formula. So let's go and pick the tactic for this first game today. Not too much change in the Forest squad, albeit they have got Evan Ferguson up front. Not even a sellout at Selhurst Park. I don't think we've had that before. Maybe the fans are getting a bit restless. So let's go through and pick our 11. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, virtually everyone who's fit for the squad is in this one because we've only got a few players missing out. Campbell with his injury, the backup keeper, and Hollis who wants his way out. We've got Mitram returning from injury. Every time I start him, he picks up a knock. And then looking into defence, well, we've had to make one adjustment because the fullbacks were getting roasted in behind constantly. So Richards and Kelleher dropped to defensive duties. We had no other option. every goal we were conceding was that diagonal ball in behind the fullback, knocked across the box and tapped in. It's still happening like this, but it's been reduced significantly. So Pulido and Esnall are now the centre-halves, with Richards and Kelleher the fullbacks, Jankovic well established as number 1. Rothwell and Davis the midfield 2. That's because Castro's picked up a knock, one of our stars of the season. Cater ahead of them after his first goal for the club. Ribeiro off the left, Gruznov back on the right. He was suspended last weekend. And then Vaknin is on his own up front. He scored that hat-trick, but he's still not been great. We could really do with a star performance today. Let's go and get into the first of these two. We're going to go positive from the start. We've got to try and find a way to win it. Well, it's a decent Forest team, but I wouldn't say it's world beaters. You've got Gunn, you've got Downs, you've also got Gelhardt. We've mentioned Evan Ferguson too, but not really the world-class superstars. They've got a fairly experienced bench, but we're going to say we're favourites for a reason. We're going to get on the front foot. I might push the fullbacks up here, but we'll give it 10 before judging that. We'll just go and see how we get on at the start of the first half before judging that one properly. So let's get through the tunnel interview. Into the game we go. This is one of those few games we have got to win. Hopefully we can find the 3 points. As early doors, here we go. Guy Vaknin, great ball out to Gruznov. The patterns of play, the moves going forward are definitely better. As Richards into Ribeiro. Oh my God, it's happened again. This has been the defining part of our season. Ribeiro there, the first header good save, fair enough. It then fell to him 1 yard out as we fixed the touchline tablet again. Is anyone else having that since the update? It just doesn't stay right. But then hits the post from 1.5 yards. There is nothing you can do as a manager to legislate for that. However, the fullbacks getting much better ratings now, seem to suit being defensive, and we had started the game well, but Forest now getting into it. So let's try and encourage these lads. They're just starting to quieten down a bit. As what has Kelleher done there? He's literally thrown it into the Forest player. There wasn't even a Palace player making that run or anywhere near it. He literally just threw it back to them. Gruznov finds Vaknin, goes for the shot from distance. And again, it's not a great opportunity. We're keeping him in the width for the box now, but we're not really getting him high enough too often. We could do with getting him behind, but then last season we played with passing to space and it didn't really work. When we've done it this season, we've been caught out. We're trying to become a possession team, but it's not really working. As Davis, with an in-swinging corner, to the back post is headed away, only as far as Ribeiro. Keeps the ball on the byline. Can he cut it back? Oh, it's a lovely flick. Into Cater again. And it's off the line for the second time in this match. What on earth are we going to do here? Oh, seriously. What is going on since the update? In every save, we are getting red card after red card. It is scandalous. 2 silly yellow cards. And now, one of the big relegation 6-pointers is definitely going against us because what do? I feel like I have to bring Cater into midfield. I don't want to lose all of that passing threat. But what do we do back here? Tom Davis is the one I'm looking at to come off. But again, is he going to be our defensive protection? We've now got a centre midfielder who can play on attack. Maybe I do it like that. And then on the right wing, we'll go for Chris Lewis. We'll just try and be aggressive. I'm not sure it's the right solution. We'll go balanced. We've still got the back 4 defensive and Rothwell too. And then we'll just try and play with 5 at the back and 4 up front. A frustrating day made worse. We've dominated. We should have had 2 goals. The expected goals again well over 1 without us scoring a chance. And Gruznov sent off. He's picked up so many yellow cards. Is he aggressive? Not really. I don't really know where that's coming from. At half-time, I don't know how we're not ahead. In the second half, with a man less, we are unlikely to do it now. So this becomes about getting the draw, proving that we can defend solidly and proving that we can keep the distance because now we've got a side below us and we can't let them win. And with 10 men on the pitch, it would be a good result if we can hold on. Just over the hour mark, the good news is they're not creating much, but we know it only takes one chance as here they come with Flynn Downs at centre-half to Roberts. Again, we can't press them quite as high now as Richards heads away to Lewis. Don't really want him that deep in the pitch, but haven't got a choice. As Braybrook on the edge, through ball it goes. Oh, this is so frustrating. I genuinely don't know since the update. I've had so many red cards and I've changed nothing tactically. That goal's going to be awarded. We're 1-0 down. And it's turning into one of these again. I don't really know what to say. We're playing well. We're dominating most games. And I don't just mean we're keeping the ball. We're creating glorious chances. Our expected goals is 1.5, 2 every game. And we're not even scoring in most of them. I've looked at the chances we've created as well. It's not like we're having loads of half chances. We're having glorious chances to win games. So on the right wing now, what do we go for? Do we maybe bring on Grom back? We'll take off Vaknin. But do I want to take off the man who can get us a goal? I'm not sure that I do. So I'm going to put him as an advance forward again because at least he'll run the channels then. And then through the middle, maybe we will pass into space as well because we've got those sorts of players who can cope with it. So let's try and get in behind. Let's try and get it forward where possible. Vaknin's up there. Lewis will go to an attack duty. Ribeiro will do exactly the same. And then in midfield, Rothwell's had an average one. He'll be replaced by, again, what are our options really? Grombach maybe is the best one there. And in defence, Polido's had a stinker. Richards in. And Couto will go right back. We'll have to go support duty now. We've got to try and get forward. We cannot afford... I'd rather lose 2 or 3. Our goal difference is so superior. But we cannot afford to not chase this game as Cater. The voice is on the blink, but it looks like Forest are on the way forward. I might wish I didn't have one in a minute. Esnall's made the mistake. Gresnall to Ferguson. Gelhart's in. Wonderful stuff. Sign a world-class centre-half. Let him pass it to your centre-forward. 2-0. Game over. Oh, we're going down. We're not going to survive this transitional season. I know we've had about 1,000 different suggestions in the comments, but the primary thing is stick with a tactic and stay disciplined. If your players are getting sent off for stupid yellow cards, what are you supposed to do? If your players are missing open goals from 1.5 yards, as we saw with Ribeiro earlier, if we're having 2 or 3 every single game cleared off the line, what are you supposed to do? Because we're the better side in most of these matches and we cannot find the goals. And we've got strikers who should be scoring hundreds of goals. As Richards picks the ball up at the back to Cater. I mean, I've gone through the data hub more since this Crystal Palace stint than any other save I've ever had. And I can't find it. As Ribeiro's in, headers over the bar. Another chance where we don't hit the target. Unfortunately, it remains 2-0 Forest. A relegation scrap is coming. We're going to need a result at Southampton. Well, 3 minutes added on, nothing doing. The lads look absolutely out on their feet, like they can't cope with this pressing game either. I don't know what to say. We've got to encourage them. We've got to keep them on board. But I am petrified of losing my job here because I know this team has got potential for the future, but we can't make it click. There is just something about it. Gruznov obviously cost us the game there, but we should have been 2 up before that. And the question keeps getting asked, how are we not scoring goals? If Fulham or Wolves win their games in hand, we could be in the bottom 3 by our next game. So let's get through the international break. We'll see where we are when we come back. Well, 2 weeks later, and we've got players returning from injury, and we're going to need them because this game is absolutely crucial at the bottom of the table. Southampton only 4 points above us. If we can get the win, it changes a lot. But that's a big if at the moment, isn't it? 1 win in 13, a suspension for Gruznov on the right-hand side. We've made one tactical change as well. Not a big one, don't get worried. I was looking through the data hub, trawling through the data, and I know that it's a bit difficult because 2 of the last 5 games we've played a lot of time with 10 men. But in this one, we are going to try and work the ball into the box because more than half of our shots were coming from outside the area, and I want to try and get them in good positions. Vaknin's back as an advance forward. Cater has picked up an injury for a month, so we're going to lose him as well. Morgan Gibbs-White in there. Mitran on the left with Ribeiro on the right to cover Gruznov. They will be the only 2 changes. So we'll go and fill the bench very quickly, including the 2 returning injury stars, and then we'll be back for kickoff at St Mary's. It's a big one. Here we are then against Mikel Arteta's Southampton, the man who left Palace to give us this opportunity. Salisu is still there as skipper at the back. I think the rest of the team is fully changed. Only familiar name there is Jayden Bogle is on the bench, which is an odd one. One change for them. Let's go and show the world we've got what it takes. We've got the lads motivated. They're behind us. We just can't score the goals. We've been dominant in games without the answer. And we need to find it today. Please, 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 let us get a win. Southampton haven't won in 5. We haven't won in 6. Draws galore between us. There's a likely outcome. Let's be honest. Well, maybe it's not a bad thing, but with 5 minutes to half time, there have been no shots on target. It has been an incredibly cagey, one way of saying a very poor game, but it looks like a draw is nailed on again. I think you can see why these 2 sides are not winning many football matches. We're trying to work the ball into the box, but now Instead of having loads of shots from distance and no great chances, we're just not having a shot at all. But who cares when you get a set piece? Ruben Pulido with the header, Gibbs White with the delivery. And to be fair, Mitran was up there as well. We had two attacking it. But maybe that's the big thing here. We didn't create many chances, but we're winning free kicks near the goal because we're keeping the ball up there. And that's given us an opportunity. I don't want to get too excited yet because we've drawn from winning positions a lot this year. And here comes Thierry Small down the left for Southampton. We don't often hold on to our leads for long. But we win it back there with Davis. Ribeiro gives it straight away. Of course, we don't want to look too confident, do we? It seems a weird mentality block with this team. As soon as we concede a goal, we completely change the way we play. And we stand off, but Vaknin wins it there to Mitran. That's the benefit of him being an advanced forward. We do win the ball back more in those defensive areas. As Tom Davis breaks free, crosses blocked, Vaknin's up. Oh, it might be happening. It's actually been one of our least efficient performances of the season. We've not created many chances. We've not got in their box much. But defensively, we've been solid. It is against a team in awful form. And you know what? Oh, no. Are you serious? Are you serious? What is going on, people? Every game in every save, I'm just getting red cards galore. Mitran, 7 for aggression. Doesn't dive into tackles. Barely makes one. I don't understand. We've not got the players to get stuck in or anything. There's nothing to suggest that we should be being that aggressive. I'm genuinely at a loss. Can someone explain to me why this keeps happening? Because I have no idea. We're going to have to drop back a bit now. So, Ribeiro's going to come off for Couto. And Morgan Gibbs White off for Jimmy Campbell. They will both go back onto a 4-4-1. And we'll just play with winger on support and inverted winger on support. Tom Davis is on the yellow as well. I'm petrified, so Castro will return from injury for the last quarter. I've genuinely never seen anything like it. Richards off for Clemenson. He's knackered too. And we'll save one sub just in case. But where are all the red cards coming from? It definitely correlates with since I've been recording after the January window update. And suddenly we've started getting red cards galore. Are we going to have to do what we did in FM22? If you remember then, it got to the stage where we had to change every tactic to stay on feet because it was the only way we could avoid red cards. And it seems to be reoccurring here as it's all Southampton following that red card. And just as it looked like we were going to win comfortably, we are back in trouble. Though Couto wins it here. Played a ball. Vaknin's on his own up there. But it's too late and they've got 3 back. But Castro keeps it to Rothwell and Clemenson. Now, if we keep possession at 2-0, we should be safe regardless. It is funny. It's the only game, bar I think at home to maybe Newcastle, where we've had less shots on target. But we've not managed to miss many chances this time. We normally put 3 or 4 wide at the keeper, wherever it may be. This time they're all going in. No, Roslev crosses. Up they go. Oh, it's going to happen again. We've gone down to 10 and we just can't cope. Please. Please let us hold on. I don't know what to say. Every shot on target in this game's gone in. And we've got 10 minutes to hold on. I was about to make the last change, but now it's a highlight. You know my superstition. Kelleher throws into Campbell on the left-hand side. Good turn. Beats 2. Goes for the shot. Is straight at the keeper. That would have been a nice way to wrap it up, but they're not to be. We're going to drop to cautious. We're going to encourage the lads, or praise them, in fact, because the ones on the pitch are doing really well. It's just whether they can cling on. We've got 3 left. I'm going to take off Vaknin for Lewis. Just fresh legs up there. Chase around, harry them. Make sure they can't get out easily. And we got 5 minutes added on. I was about to go time wasting. And then, of course, it did. It came back for a highlight. It's going to be a draw again, isn't it? Don't you dare. Esnor heads it away. Ball down the right for Southampton. Kelleher picks it up. He finds Esnor. Just keep possession. Chips it up aimlessly to Lewis, not following the game plan whatsoever. Dominguez to Small, to Lima, out to the left-hand side to Ndoye. Clemenson does well. Please keep the ball. Castro, to Couto, to Lewis. Beat your man. Back to Rothwell. Put him in. Put him in. It's a big switch to the left. It's not the right ball, but Campbell will get there. Chance to cut in on his right foot. Gives it away. Gets it back again. Fair play. Cuts inside. Have a shot, will you? 20 yards out. Oh, he's hit the bar. Couto on the rebound. I think he's offside. We'll see what VAR says. Please let it count. I could really do with this today. Either way, it will keep the trend of every shot on target going in. Goal review. Offside. Disallowed. Right. Let's get the time wasting on, shall we? Time waste all the time. Go defensive. You don't need to do anything else. Castro, you can go as a ball winner on defend. Couto, you can go as a defensive winger. Will that work? Defensive winger on defend. And Jimmy Campbell, I know you can't do it, but you're going to do the same. Every player on a defensive duty apart from those two. We'll time waste. We'll slow it down. When we lose the ball, we'll regroup. We will also stop pressing their keeper. We're going to drop to a low block, I think, just make it narrow in there. And then finally, we'll hold our shape when we win the ball. No need to break. Let's just keep it. We've got 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. We're down to 10 men for the second successive game. But can we please hold on this time? I don't know where the red cards are coming from. We've never had less shots in a game this season away from home. But somehow, it's the one we've won. I'm still at a loss to explain these things. It was a set piece and it was a Guy Vaknin tap-in. But crucially, in a game where we weren't the best side, we won by 2-1. A big 3 points, it seems completely random. As long as we keep picking them up, we'll be all right. Let's go and look at the schedule, see when we're going to be back. Well, the table looks a little bit nicer now, doesn't it? Albeit the sides below have been picking up points, it's narrowing up a little, but we've got ourselves back into that mid-table pack. The problem now is that we face all the top sides. Bar the Leicester and Everton games, we face all of the traditional top 6 for the next 8 games. And then it's the FA Cup. Then we've got big games at the bottom. The return fixtures against Watford and Norwich. I'm just seeing how many we can get through here. It will depend on the ties. I might come back around Christmas for 2 of the big games, but if we're just getting battered in them, then I'll skip them because there's no point you seeing it. I would imagine you'll want to see the games that are going to define our season, and Watford and Norwich are more likely to be that. So we'll come back at some point during January. If you're looking forward to it and you did enjoy this one, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you think tactically, and most importantly, what do you think of the red card situation? Because for me, since the update, I just can't stop getting them. Are we going to be able to pick up enough points against the big 6 sides? Well, join me next time to find out in a couple of days. Before that, we'll be back with our Build a Nation tomorrow. It is an episode not to miss. A triple header, a decisive and dramatic end to a long drawn-out title race in Northern Ireland. As well as that, you can find the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and the blog story up in the eye above. Thank you very much for watching. If you're in the US, do check out the HelloFresh link in the description. Gets you big money off your first box, free shipping, and helps support this channel too. You can support the show as a channel member by clicking the join button. And I'll see you back here next time for more big games in the Premier League, and hopefully a Crystal Palace side outside the relegation zone.